Hello and welcome to our Global News Update. I'm your host, and over the next 15 minutes, we'll take you through the biggest international developments from the last 72 hours, from intensifying fighting in Ukraine and developments in the Middle East to economic updates, climate events, and other major stories shaping our world. Let's begin. Our top story comes from Ukraine. Russia has carried out another large wave of missile and drone attacks across several Ukrainian cities. Officials say overnight strikes killed civilians and injured others, while residential buildings and infrastructure suffered heavy damage. In the Sumy region, local authorities reported fatalities, including children, while missile strikes also hit Kryvyi Rih. Kyiv has declared a day of mourning after one of the deadliest attacks on the capital this year. Ukraine's military continues to intercept many incoming drones and missiles, but officials say the scale of attacks remains a major challenge. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces continue long-range operations against military and energy-related targets inside Russia. Diplomatic efforts to end the conflict remain stalled, with no indication of an immediate breakthrough. Turning to the Middle East, regional tensions remain high following recent conflict involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. Iran is preparing state funeral ceremonies for late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, while officials continue projecting stability after the recent conflict. At the same time, Tehran has warned commercial vessels using the Strait of Hormuz to follow designated routes, underscoring continuing security concerns in one of the world's most important shipping lanes. Although diplomatic contacts continue, uncertainty remains over the future of regional security and energy supplies. Oil traders continue monitoring developments closely because nearly one-fifth of global oil trade passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Now to the global economy. Financial markets reacted positively after a weaker than expected U.S. employment report reduced expectations of near-term interest rate increases. European markets climbed to record levels, while investors reassess the outlook for inflation and central bank policy. Analysts say slower job growth could ease pressure on policymakers, although inflation remains an important concern worldwide. Energy prices also remain sensitive to developments in the Middle East. In Venezuela, rescue workers achieved what many are calling a miracle. A security guard, trapped beneath the rubble following devastating earthquakes, was rescued alive after spending more than a week underground. The rescue has become a symbol of hope following a disaster that caused widespread destruction and thousands of casualties. Emergency workers from multiple countries participated in the complex operation. Across Europe, several major developments unfolded. Germany announced a broad package of economic reforms, including tax reductions, pension adjustments, and labor market changes aimed at stimulating economic growth. Meanwhile, southern France continues battling severe wildfires fueled by extreme heat and dry conditions. Thousands of residents and tourists have been evacuated as firefighters work to contain rapidly spreading flames. Climate experts warn that hotter summers may increase wildfire risks across southern Europe. In Indonesia's Papua region, authorities recovered the body of an American pilot who was killed during an attack by separatist rebels. Officials say investigations continue while security operations remain active in the area. The incident highlights continuing instability in parts of eastern Indonesia. Meanwhile, India and Japan announced expanded cooperation in energy, artificial intelligence, maritime security, and regional defense, reflecting deepening strategic ties in the Indo-Pacific. Here are several other important developments making headlines. Canada is working with partner nations on plans for a proposed international defense financing institution. Global shipping companies continue monitoring security conditions around the Strait of Hormuz. Investors are looking ahead to upcoming central bank communications and major economic data releases for clues about future monetary policy. Taken together, the past 72 hours demonstrate three major global trends. First, geopolitical tensions continue to influence international security and energy markets. Second, Financial markets remain highly sensitive to economic data and expectations surrounding interest rates. Third, climate related disasters, from wildfires to extreme weather, continue affecting millions worldwide, reinforcing concerns about long term environmental resilience. These issues are likely to remain at the center of global attention in the coming days. Over the coming week, international observers will be watching further developments in the Ukraine conflict, diplomatic activity involving Iran and regional powers, oil prices and shipping activity through the Strait of Hormuz, global market reactions to economic data, progress in wildfire containment efforts across southern Europe. Each of these developments could have significant implications for global security and the world economy. That's your global news roundup covering the biggest international stories from the last 72 hours. Thank you for watching. If you found this report informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest global news coverage. I'm your host, and we'll see you again in the next update.